Ihor Kozak is a Ukrainian-Canadian military expert. Ihor, always good to see you. It seems like we are finally going to get an agreement here. Your thoughts on the implications?
Well, good afternoon, Todd. And absolutely, it's a very important decision that is being made today. It is important for two reasons. First and foremost, the Leopard 2 main battle tanks are one of the most capable tanks in the world, and this is exactly what Ukraine requires at this stage of the war to stop the counteroffensive from Russia, which everybody expects in the next couple of months, and even more so to liberate most of its territory and to finish this war in victory. Even more important is the political aspect of this decision. As we know, Germany, who controls who can and cannot export, send to Ukraine those tanks, finally is making the decision, the right decision in my mind. So Germany will be sending tanks, but it also means that other countries such as Poland, Finland, and everybody else who would like to do so can do so. We know there is over 2,000 Leopard main battle tanks across Europe, so a significant number of those tanks can be sent to Ukraine, also Canada, other countries, and Germany will hopefully be sending more. United States talking about potentially sending their Abrams tanks, and it can also open doors to other heavy equipment required for Ukraine to finish this war in victory, to liberate all of its territory, and to finally bring peace to Europe.
Let me ask you about the quantity, though, and this is where it gets a little tricky. As you know, some of these countries have said, we're willing to send 10, 12, 15. The Ukrainians, Ihor, have said they need 300 or more of these tanks. Do you think we're actually going to see that kind of number in the weeks ahead? And, is it going to be fast enough to try and stop what is widely expected to be a big Russian offensive in the next month or two?
Well, absolutely. Ukraine requires many of those tanks. The reason being is that Russia started this war, just to give you perspective here, with over 10,000 tanks, mind you, in different quality, different year manufacturers, some pretty much obsolete, but still over 10,000 tanks. Over 3,000 of those Russian tanks have been destroyed over the past 11 months by Ukrainians on the battlefield, but still a significant number remains. Russians are repairing additional tanks, producing additional tanks, so Ukraine certainly needs Western tanks in hundreds. As I said, there's over 2,000 of those tanks are Leopard tanks available across Europe. Also, other countries can provide. So if each country provides a few dozens, then it certainly can reach a few hundred required by Ukraine. And was it going to be enough? We will see. But something is better than nothing, and we are starting with what we have right now. Ukraine can use its own tanks, some of the Soviet-era tanks that are being provided by Czech Republic and was provided by Poland before, and hopefully collectively put together is going to be enough to win this war. But it's certainly a move in the right direction.
The worries that some in Germany have over this being seen by the Russians as an escalation and not wanting to provoke Vladimir Putin. How do you sort of think about that, Ihor? How do you characterize that reluctance? Because Germany has been very reluctant, a lot of pressure. Finally, seems like they have agreed here, but there's a lot of worry in Germany, it seems, over the reaction from Russia.
Well, I mean, they've been worrying for some time. I mean, it's, I think it's frankly ridiculous that they are worried about an escalation. This war started in 2014. Mr. Putin and his gangs of criminals have been threatening security and stability of Europe over the past 22 years since they came to power, whether it's, through the provision of, energy to Europe and trying to monopolize that, or killing Western, country citizens on their soil, or conducting acts of espionage. And so on. So this escalation been going on for a couple of decades now. If you look in Ukraine over the past, 11 months, you're talking about thousands of people who've been, who died. We're talking about kindergarten, school, hospitals being killed. It's almost World War II type scenarios. So I don't know how it can get worse unless Russia use the nuclear weapons, which I do not believe, they will. I think Putin is a bully. And, the only way to deal with bully is to hit back, hard. And we see that Putin been drawing a lot of red lines saying, if you provide HIMARS, there's going to be consequences. If you provide to Ukraine, our heavy artillery, there's going to be consequences. None of those, prove to be true. So I believe it's going to be the same story with the main battle tanks. They're just using this as another propaganda tool. So Russians are not doing well during this campaign, so they're using all the tools in their toolbox, including propaganda, to to threaten Western governments and to just send confusing signals to Western publics. I wouldn't worry about this. I think Ukraine is capable of winning this war. That's the only way, to finish this war through Ukrainian victory. We need to provide more support, and the sooner the better.
Ihor Kozak, Canadian-Ukrainian military analyst. Thank you for this, Ihor. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me, Todd.